So we will continue, and we will know in this part how to write the TLA specification. We will start with a very simple example. Just the example, we call it, it's hour clock. So, but before that, let's see the structure of TLA specifications. Okay, in any specification, there is some parts, some should be there. Uh, for example, extents, extent. Extent, what we mean by the extent, actually, sometimes we use some variables, so we should do mention this variable library. For example, is it natural, integer? So extends it's for including the library. The second also, sometimes if we use another file, we create some specification, any specification, and then we use this specification in our new specification. So we should to include also constants. It's clear, constants, what variables, if you use any variables, same as when if you use any assumption. Later we will see how to use it. Initial, next, specification, through. This three is formula. All is formula. So there is at least in your specification, at least will have initial formula and the next formula. This is at least. We have only these two formula, and then we used to combine all the formula in final specification. So this is the final formula. Theorem, it's exactly what we learn in Z notation, is the invariance. If you remember, in the variable state we add invariance. So the invariance here, it's something should be true in all the program. So here is the theorem. So before we go further, let's see, there is something we call it the behavior of the system. The behavior of the system, actually in any behavior, okay, if we refer to our example in hours, okay, you see the hours, it's changed from 1 to the hour clock. Actually the hour it's changed, or the minutes also, the hour is changed from 1 to 12, right? So this is here the behavior. So if we have, for example, the variable it's hour, and then it will take the value 1, and then this value is changed to 2, and then changed to 3, and then so on. So this is the behavior of this system. Here is show that, for example, as we see, if the hour is 11, so it moved to 12, and then back to 1, and then next 2, then 3, 4, 5 until 12, and then back to 1. So this is the behavior of the system. So the behavior is the change of the variables. So whatever you have variables in your system, so the change of this variable is the behavior. One thing more is the step. Actually, once we change from this variable, it's changed from 11 to 12. So this is the change from 11 to 12 is the step. So this is the step, the change from 11 to 12 is the step. One thing more, the behavior, the step. So also the state. So what's the difference now? We have the state, the variable takes some value. So this value is changed to another value. So the change of this variable is behavior. So also the state, we can see we have, for example, this. Okay, in this example we have only one variable, HR. So this variable take this value and then move to another value. So when HR is 11, so we can say this is state. So the behavior is changed from one state to another state. So here another state. So when HR is changed to 1, so this is another state. So all is the behavior changed from one state to another state is state. So as we say, in any formula, in any TLA specification, at least we should have initial formula and next formula. Initial formula, the initial value of the variables, and then the next formula represent what's the next action. For example, in our clock, the first, for example, if we see the first is 1 or the first is 11, so what's the next? The next is plus 1. So come, or if we go to 12, so the next is 1. So this is determined by the action, the next formula. So we have the first, the initial formula is the HR take the value based on the behavior after you study the behavior of the system. So we write the initial formula. The initial formula here, HR take the value from any value from 1 to 12. So this is the initial value. And here how to write initial formula. You just this is the formula name, and then double equal, and then HR take any value from 1 to 12. So this is the initial formula. So we come to the next formula. The next formula, since we have old value and new value, so we use the prime similar to Z notation. No difference. The prime, maybe just the structure is different. So in next formula, in this example, we have if HR is 1, so the next will be 1 plus 1. If HR is 3, so 3 plus 1. So the next is just plus 1, except if HR equal to 12. So we should back to 1. So how to write this? We write the next formula. We can use many form. We can use any, for example, F. We can use mood. Okay, we will see this both of this. How to write this formula? How to write the next formula? It's based on the problem. So here, as we see, it's very simple problem. We just HR, the HR. Okay, we say here before this symbol, this one, the name of the formula, and then the HR, the new HR prime equal to. So here we have conditions. We have if HR equal to 12, not equal to 12, it's not 12, so just increase 1, else back to 1. So here based on the description of the system, so that this is the next formula. So before we go to the next, let's see how to write. As we say, any specification at least should have initial formula and next formula. So let's write these two formula. Actually, the TLA editor, we can say after you download it and install TLA, it will be something like this. We just open and then open new specification, add new specification. You can name this specification as you want. Here is the place where you want to save your specification. For example, we want to save it here, and then and the name, for example, HR. Since I have already one, so I will just write new. So now you just click finish. So your page will be something like this. The editor will be something like this. We just now you should to write the your specification here. I already copy. I just copy for save time. Okay. So here is our specification. As we see, we have the initial value, we have the next value, and then we can run. But as I mentioned, okay, your specification. I mean, now if you have any errors, it will show here it's error. So here, if you see now, if you change this one and then save, show that it's you have error. So we just make sure there is you use, for example, variable. The variable is declare. We use here only hr, so we declare hr. So next, as we say, we have the module, and then we should to create the model of this specification. So the module here, after we can go to create, I mean from the module we can create a module, just new module, and then we can leave it module 1. And then now here we should to mention, or we should specific which one is the initial formula and which one is the next formula. And then we run. Maybe we'll have some errors. We run our specification. So actually the result, maybe we will learn more about the TLF just today. One state, okay, this is that mean everything is okay. Just we say how many state we have. If you see, we have 11 states from 0, from 1 to 0, from 1 to 12. So 11 state, 11 distinct state.